Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what I believe to be one of the many things that is exploited in today's modern Western culture, and that is rape culture. You've probably heard a lot about rape culture through the media, and feminists who outcry this rape culture is causing them to be oppressed by this patriarchy and all this of that nature. And I just sort of wanted to talk a little bit about that and what my thoughts are from a MGTOW about this so-called rape culture. Now, to start off, we all know it's against the law to rape, which is usually defined, generally speaking, as forcible sex with someone. You force them to engage in sex against their will. Physically force them to have sex with their will, physical. Now, often when we hear about this rape, and when it comes to gynocentrism, it is exploited. It is taken advantage of, and it is exploited to the highest degree. And I'm going to kind of jump into why I say this is. If you look around, you'll notice that when there's a false rape accusation made, there is no substantiated evidence to support it. In other words, all it really takes is for one female to shout, rape, 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 and thanks to this government's gynocentrism, they will jump on the bandwagon with whomever makes that claim. Never mind any substantial evidence, never mind any testimonies, just, oh, he's automatically guilty by default because he's a man. And the man could very well be innocent, and he will still be charged to the fullest degree and extent of the law under its jurisdiction. And here's a little bit of a scenario as to how this all plays out. Let's say there's a bar around the corner, or there's a new bar that opened up in town, and you decide, because you're feeling generous and whatnot, you just met this woman and you would like to take her there as a date. So you go to this bar, and of course, let's step back for a minute. You go to a bar, usually with the intent on buying a drink, because that's what bars sell. They sell drinks, alcohol, booze, beer, martinis, that sort of thing. So you go to this bar with this girl, and because you're generous, let's just say you are this blue pill man, and you're generous enough to buy her a drink. So you buy her a drink, or should I say offer her a drink. You offer her a drink, and she accepts your offer and takes the drink. Now, she may take this drink, and you offer her another drink. You exchange drinks, essentially, and she becomes drunk, or intoxicated, or under the influence, and basically is under a new state of her mind. Now, let's just say, since she is in a different state of her mind, and she is not in her original state, she decides to have sex, or she wants to have sex, or since you're both under the influence, you both decide willingly, hey, let's have sex, let's fuck. So you leave the bar, you go back to, let's just say your little private Guantanamo apartment or whatever, and you do engage in sexual activity. You have sex. Now, remember now what I said earlier. Rape, generally speaking, is forcible sex with someone. You force them against their will to have sex. So she decides, okay, yeah, let's have sex. So you have sex. Keep in mind she's under the influence. And, when she regains her original state of mind, moments later she realizes that she has regrets on this act of sex. And now, basically under the gynocentric government and feminists, this would be considered rape. Even though she had a 100% agreement to the terms of sex, even though she was under the influence, which you were also, this would still be seen in the eyes of feminists as rape. Now, never mind the fact that she made the decision to go to you with the bar, because remember now, if we're all equal, that means we are all mature adults. So she willingly made the choice to go to that bar with you. She willingly decided to accept your offer of a drink. So when you hear women who claim, oh, you know, he forced me to have alcohol, or he he forced alcohol. I mean, no. How does he force you to have alcohol if you accept the alcohol? If you are an adult, then let's be adults about this. If you take or accept alcohol from a person, you are in somewhat an understanding. You are pretty much basically on an understanding term that this has consequences to it, such as I could possibly be impaired, or I may not be under the same state of my original mind. But basically, what this rape culture is, as a MGTOW, I think it's basically being exploited and taken advantage of, and that's why now you have so many of these rape accusations that in some or many cases are false and are not backed by substantial evidence. But because she is a woman, and because of gynocentrism and feminism, she is always a victim, despite of her own choice, her own decisions, and her own God-given free will. She is always a victim, and she was oppressed, and she was forced against her will. Now think about this for a minute. Feminists claim to be all about equality, and women claim they want equality, but at the same notion, they want equality, but without any responsibility. But it just doesn't work. You can't have both. You can't have equality, but not face any repercussions that come with it, such as taking responsibility for your actions. But that's what rape culture is, in my sense, or what I believe to be as a MGTOW. That's what rape culture has come to. It's been exploited, and it's been taken advantage of by women all over Western countries. And the men who get caught up in these false accusations, unfortunately, a lot of the times have no ground to stand on because of gynocentrism and the forces behind it, such as feminism and female privilege and entitlement. So, what are my real thoughts on rape culture? I think it's bullshit. I think it is just an excuse to relinquish females or women from accepting responsibility for their actions. And because we relinquish them from any responsibility, that's why we have this society that we have today. False rape accusations, false claims of sexual assault, false claims of sexism, and false claims of a lot of other nifty things related to the gender dynamics. And as a MGTOW, this is also why I believe MGTOW came to be, because they are basically men who have decided that they'll be accountable for their own responsibilities, but not take on someone else's if they claim to be equal. If you want to be equal, then do it all the way. Not halfway, not a quarter of the way, all the way. Otherwise, geez, if this is really what we've come to, then, where we relinquish females of any responsibilities, ethically, morally, or subconsciously, then, you know what? Why not just go back the traditional route? Because relinquishing women of taking responsibility who claim to be adults, I think right there is the true misogyny. That, I think, is the real misogyny. And, this is why, in part, that MGTOW exists. Because it's men who have realized that the system is set up to where they are always at fault, not for their own actions, but someone else's. And they've decided to no longer play this game or be part of this. And this is why, or partly why, I favor MGTOW. because there's no way you can come out on top in playing the game. This game is designed for us to lose, as I've said in some of my other videos, and chances are the game is only going to get worse with time to come ahead. This is almost just like a warm-up, but I think it's going to get worse. So to all my fellow MGTOW brothers who are watching this, continue to do your own thing, go your own way, and just try to avoid, if you can help it, avoid these types of women, because these really are the toxic creatures, and I, for one, want nothing to do with these toxic creatures. So, again, continue to do your thing, rejoice in the idea, stay single, and spread the word, because this mindset is growing, this trend is growing, MGTOW is growing every day, and newcomers are always welcome. So what do you think about this rape culture, this coin term of rape culture? I think it's bullshit, and I just think it's being used as a tool to relinquish a woman of any responsibilities morally or ethically, and I think it's just really being taken advantage of. So what are your thoughts of false rape accusations or rape culture? If you have any, please do feel free to leave them in the comment sections below. Please subscribe, and until the next time, have a nice day. Thank you.